President Bola Tinubu has approved a 15% import duty on petrol and diesel imports into Nigeria. The policy, outlined in a letter dated October 21 and made public on the 30th of October, aims to protect local refineries and stabilize the downstream petroleum market. Authorities say it forms part of a broader tariff framework designed to align import costs with domestic realities and promote energy security. Projections show the duty could raise the landing cost of petrol by nearly 100 naira per litre, potentially increasing pump prices. But government insists the move will boost local refining and reduce market distortions. Right now, Seun Dania, the energy consultant, joins us live from London, UK, to discuss this. Seun, thank you so much for joining us. What would you say is the main objective behind introducing a 15% import duty on petrol and diesel imports into Nigeria?
That's the revival of the entire petroleum industry. Because for over several decades, Nigeria has been operating based on an import-dependent fuel market, which has undermined the business case for developing local refining capacity and operations. So a lot of people have been very, 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 not even a lot of people, it has been more economically viable to import petroleum products than to invest in long-term development in oil infrastructure like modular refineries, and other bigger refineries, and even the cost of rehabilitating the NNPC refineries. So right now, the government is signaling to everyone and to all people that it will make more sense for you to invest in building local refining capacity than to import petroleum products.
So how would this import duty impact fuel prices, and how would the average Nigerian consumer react to this?
Of course, the average consumer would feel, in the very short term, will feel the impact because we still have a significant amount of reliance on the imported petroleum products. People will feel the prices will go up. However, it will be, in the long term, there will be acceptance when people understand the value that we are seeing. I know the Dangote group, through Alhaji Aliko Dangote, still mentioned a couple of days ago that they were even increasing the refining capacity of the current refinery that they have, which means they are willing to spend more money to boost local productivity. And yeah, people will feel the prices, but then a lot of more people will be able to build more, local refineries, will create more jobs, would also be able to, reduce the reliance on the foreign exchange, because a lot of the FX that puts pressure on the naira is, used for importing petroleum products.
So in what ways is the government aiming to support and revive the local refineries through this new tariff framework?
I believe, I'm not certain, but definitely I believe that with the trajectory that they are going, they'll definitely be looking to, provide competitive pricing so that people who are investing in long-term refining will also be able to make a lot of, will be able to make profits and have prices that can compete well with people who are importing products. And definitely, of course, it's signaling a lot of uplift in the market. Local refineries, people who have invested already in modular refineries, and refineries at larger scales, they can now plan their investments and know that they can, reap benefits in the long future term. And I know definitely they'll be competing with, local, cheaper, even close to people who rather build locally than to import. And then definitely we'll be able to see an alignment between the midstream and the downstream regulatory blueprints that the government already has, which is to rehabilitate the existing refineries, Port Harcourt, Warrior, Kaduna, and encourage people to build modular refining capacities, and we're able to guarantee, well, that we have this much that we're refining locally, we can guarantee crude supplies to those refineries, and then evidently refining capacity would increase, and Nigeria was then again, as we used to, become an exporting country for petroleum products as to just basically importing, and we can sustain ourselves in the event of any energy insufficiencies across the globe.
Okay, so speaking of eventualities, what challenges might arise from aligning import costs with domestic market realities, and how can these challenges be addressed effectively?
So there will be, there'll be a risk in supply. So basically, the local refineries will definitely need to start ramping up. It will be slower than expected. The higher import costs, will definitely cost a little. So we may experience some supply challenges, but I know that the government has been working on the CNG project, so they should be able to that has been rolled out to some extent. Public transportation will definitely. We've seen a lot of investments in that side, where we see that there'll be less reliance on petroleum products. And even for the average consumers, we can see that they've already done so much in the power sector. I believe that there's more steady power available to people's homes. A lot of people are less reliant on their personal generating sets. There will also there'll be some transitional price shocks. The government may have to cushion some of that, but I believe all that we don't have to go back to the eras of subsidy, but through constant communication and relief schemes, people to very vulnerable households, people will be able to, government will be able to have an impact. And in terms of making clear, they should also make government will be willing to provide clearer regulatory frameworks, and policy stability. And there will not be any sudden changes like, bringing back subsidy or anything, which, I believe that for this to work out, the government must commit and give very, very clear and, like a very long-term plan, well phased in terms of what they want us to see, and an irreversible downstream roadmap, similar to what we already see in the regulation of the downstream sector and, the successful refinery-backed economies.
All right, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts on this, and we'll definitely see how this pans out. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great day.